Daddy likes the middle.
Oh.
I can't unsee it.
Hello. That was a bit weird because I put Eric in there first, which was a bit stupid in my opinion, because it's like, well, this isn't Pagey. What the hell's going on here? But welcome everyone to the stream. Hopefully having a good, I guess it's like evening, late afternoon, maybe night, depending where you are. Or if you're in Australia or somewhere around me, good morning. It's a Saturday morning. So welcome everyone that's here. Obviously, let's not be rude for too long. I'm joined by other side, DJ Eric, aka Eric's Reloaded, aka I guess Zoom for today. You look like fastest man alive from Earth 2, or for the former Earth 2. So welcome to the stream. I don't think we've had Eric on for a while, and that's mainly because I just haven't streamed consistently enough for a while. So
yeah, it was like
right now.
It was like early last year, I think was the last time that I was on.
But just let me fix this up quickly. Okay, all good. Thought something went off my phone. But welcome everyone. Obviously, as we usually do in the streams, feel free to let me know where you are residing on this planet that we call Earth. I'm always curious to hear where you guys are from. Welcome, Mohammed. Hello, world. Thank you very much, Gary, for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Can I bring that up? There we go. Thank you very much, Gary, for that. And not. Oh, did you ask a question? The answer is no, Gary. To that question, if you need the answer. Yeah, that was a quick one to start it off. I'm in Kosovo. That's from Leonard, or also I was going to say like it's almost like Leonard, but Leonard, maybe that's how you pronounce it. If I'm getting it wrong, feel free to let me know.
Leonard
we got
Snart?
a couple. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a combination. Leonard and Snart, Leonard. You never know. Candace Patton is in a 2-week quarantine. Okay, so that's why. Is she in a 2-week quarantine? Because remember, I think we're talking about it maybe on your stream or something, or it might have been in my stream. I was talking to myself. I can't remember. But we were talking about how, or someone brought it up, and I was like, yeah, I did see that thing where she was on a plane. So she must have gone home. Maybe she requested to go home or something like that for the period, the holiday period or something like that, and then she had to come back in quarantine like everyone else. But Flash is back filming, so maybe she just knew that she wasn't have to be involved or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah, I think so. Because, I mean, you have to remember that even it doesn't necessarily mean she's been exposed or anything like that. Anytime they leave the set, they have to go through a quarantine process. So I feel like that's something that was probably set up beforehand.
Yeah, I'd assume I'd actually would have gone rogue. I doubt we had a. I think if she went rogue,
where's Candace? She's on a plane somewhere.
I just saw on Instagram she's for some reason flying over the Atlantic or something like that. So I highly doubt it was a rogue disappearance, but maybe she just well, you got to remember she would have been doing a lot early in the season because the Mirror Iris thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a period in the show where there's just not much going on with her. It doesn't really focus on her. She's like, well, hold on, can I go away for a bit or something? Even if it's just a week, and I'll do the 2-week quarantine.
And production is not shut down, guys. They're still doing episodes. So
yeah. So we've got a few things to go over. So we're going to go over the Flash thing first. As I said before, wasn't organized. Fan still there. Haven't moved it because who cares? But there's a hint of organization in the stream because we have a list of topics, which is always a good thing to go through. So we're going to go through some Flash stuff, some crossover stuff, which will lead into another thing, and then we'll just have a quick talk about some Batwoman expectations. But obviously, throughout the stream, if you do want your question answered, or you just want to chuck us a question, or a statement, could be a very abusive statement if you want to, feel free to. You can super chat by clicking the little dollar emblem thingy majiggy around the text box or whatever it is. And if you do want to become a member to the channel, there is the first members exclusive video on there, which is my WandaVision episode 1 and 2 review, because they released the first 2 episodes like 12 hours ago, just over 12 hours ago. So it's on there if you want to go check it out, but I'd prefer if you did it after the stream. But if you want to become a member during the stream, feel free to do it. But yeah, so the first thing we'll talk about is the Flash thing, because that was the thing that sort of is a bit of a mystery while also being a concern, while also being a positive at the same time. It's weird. It's a weird one. So I'm sure everyone heard the news yesterday that they were potentially looking at shutting down some of the episode counts. And I think specifically it's just the Flash. I think maybe it's just the Flash. Maybe Batwoman, but Batwoman had like a month head start compared to the other shows. And also they haven't been affected by COVID where they've had to shut down for a certain amount of time.
They've done really well. Like I don't think they've had any trouble on set at all. So
I don't think they've had any. I think that might be like I think Legends maybe is like one of the like they haven't had any issues. So there's positives there. Thank you, Becca, for becoming a member to the channel. Greatly appreciated, obviously. So thank you very much for that. Now access to that wonderful review. Is that me talking it up? I don't know. Maybe don't hype it up too much. Anyway, thank you very much for that. But yeah, so due to that, it's been referenced it's going to be like another COVID affected thing. And I think it's probably at the point where if Flash has to go down with COVID again, that sounds weird. I'm not saying Grant Gustin, but the show gets affected by the pandemic again. I think we can say goodbye to a few episodes, depending on what it is as well, obviously, because before I think they were only gone for like a week or something like that. It didn't feel like very long. It might have been 2 weeks and just time flew. This past 12 months has been weird. Either 2 weeks flies or it feels like 2 days. I
feel like we've gotten so much stuff in a short amount of time. We didn't have anything for a while. And then it's just like everything just sort of dropped.
Oh yeah, it's just like a slap in the face. It's just, or it's like when it hasn't rained for a while.
Right.
It's like, oh, it hasn't rained for a while. And as soon as you say that, it rains for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, the grass is flooded. Can't walk anywhere. God, the car's leaking now. Anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Do you have any major concerns around it in regards to it affecting the overall, I guess, like quality of the season, just the season as a whole?
You know, when I first read that article, I wasn't sure exactly which show he was talking about. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, the only one that would go long enough that they need to have start a certain time next year that hasn't begun filming yet is The Flash. Because the other shows like Supergirl and Black Lightning and stuff, they're not getting another season.
Yeah, so they can go over because unless
I didn't think about that initially. You know, the only concern I have is we had such a weird ending last season when stuff got cut prematurely that if they're going to do it, I hope they do it in time so that they can literally make the ending work for like a cliffhanger going into the fall, because even if it goes away early, we're not gonna have to wait long for it to come back, which is exactly why they would be taking episodes away from it anyway. I just want them to be more proactive and I don't know, controlling the narrative of the story, because last season felt really weird. The ending was not great. So
yeah, like it definitely didn't feel like a finale. Like it didn't even feel like a mid-season finale.
No.
Oh, you can make the argument, but it was a weak mid-season finale.
Oh yeah, it would have been one of the worst. Like if we compare that with other, like you can go back and look at the other Flash mid-season finales, and they were way better than that. So you could say it would be a mid-season finale, but I still feel like it wasn't even good enough to be considered a good mid-season finale.
Yeah, because the thing is, the important thing to also state, which I didn't state before, is that Mark Pedowitz, who was the president of the CW who said it all, he did say that they would sort of make their mind up in March, whether it's March the 1st or March 31st. That's you'd hope earlier, sooner rather than later. But that gives them a lot of time. So they're on, I think it's episode 7, maybe sooner moving into 8. So they've got 18 episodes. So halfway through would be probably like 3 weeks filming or something like that. The 3, maybe a month of filming, they'd be at the halfway point.
They might be almost done with everything by the time they announce a short season, which is weird.
That's the thing. By the point, if it is early March they announce it, they might only be on like episode 10, maybe starting 11. So they've got 7 episodes to go until the end of the season. And at that point, they might be like, okay, well, we can get to that point. Or hold on, we're going to have to take 2, maybe 3 episodes off. But that gives them enough time to go, okay, well, we were planning to put a filler episode in there. So any important information in that episode, take anything that's relevant in that episode that would have been mostly filled with just a single episode story and chuck it in another episode, maybe take out a filler storyline from that episode. Because most episodes, even if they are really, really relevant to the story, still have a, a filler element. So it could be Cecile doing something. It doesn't really matter anything. It's just something for that episode, or it could be.
I mean, they could literally take filler, like in the filler episodes, a lot of times the last like 2 minutes will have something relevant to like the main story. They could literally insert that into another episode and remove, like you're saying, some of the filler elements from that episode just to make it all sort of happen before the end of the season. So
yeah, so that's what it seems like, at least. Like that's the possibility. I think it's going to be anything like last season where they film an episode and they're just like, oh no, we're cutting it off there, no more filming. It's like, oh thanks. Our last episode was the return of Goldface, and well, he found his medal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't want to be that. Like, you know what that means? 2 seasons in a row, and the finale is just last season. Fair enough, was an action thing. It was a big episode, but it still wasn't finale. It was just
I think the issue with the last episode for me of the season was that it did have action elements, but the story stuff that needed to be tied up just wasn't tied up, and that's really the problem.
Yeah, but that's pretty much all to talk about that in regards to the Flash. But COVID has affected not just the Flash, but all these shows in general so much that hopefully it doesn't decide to yeet its way into existence or relevance again.
Could you imagine if we had like a Goldface Aminette Black cliffhanger? I mean,
oh my goodness, I don't think I could contain it. Anyway, we have some super chats. We have Silhouette Animated with the $5. Do you think the DCEU was Earth 13 since Man of Steel came out in 2013? And bracket question mark. I'd say it's probably just Earth 1 because the Arrowverse is Earth Prime, Stargirl's Earth 2, but there's no Earth 1. So I just to say it's Earth 1. That's probably the easiest one to go with. That's what I would say at least. And also like it's important to remember. I think going forward, the DCU is sort of going to move past. They might sort of ignore some stuff that happened in Man of Steel. Like I'm not expecting the next Superman movie, whether or not it has Henry Cavill in it, to actually be called Man of Steel 2. I'm expecting it to be called Superman Running or something like that. So
Superman Homecoming.
Superman Homecoming. No, let's not go that one. Let's not go that one. That's a bad title. And we also have Silhouette Animator again. How would you feel if Aminette Black appeared next season and was offed by the main season 7 villain? # Daddy. Whoa, Daddy hates the metal.
Edgy.
Well, are you insinuating that the main villain is potentially? I'm not confirming or insinuating, but are you insinuating that maybe it's Goldface? Are we having a season 7 Goldface villain? That would be very curious if that was the case.
That would be painful. That would be very painful.
Well, then we could have the clickbait Thanos season 7 villain of the Flash, because the guy that played Goldface was the original Thanos.
What if he used his powers to create the Infinity Gauntlet and then become Thanos? That would be
it'd be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be interesting. But thank you very much for that, Silhouette Animator. Thank you very much for that, Gary, with the $1. Thank you very much for that. What was it? I just saw something. No, we just talked about it then. I'm assuming you just came in. No. That's the answer. Pagey will season that. Well, that's the whole point. So that's the whole point with this whole thing that they're planning, is that they want to make it so next season is just as back to normal, like 100% normal. So Flash would have 22, presumably. That's their, quote unquote normal now. And the other shows and like whatever. Like I don't know if like the big question is like Superman and Lois, because it looks like they're just gonna have 13. Like they were planning to go up to 16 by the sounds of it, but by this and the scene that like it seemed to take them 7 months to film the pilot. I'd guess that's a show they'd want to be closer to 22 than 13.
Yeah.
So it'll be weird if that season 1 is 13, then in season 2 we go up to like 22 or something like that. It'll be weird with Superman and Lois, but with the Flash, it's their most popular show. And I think even with Superman and Lois coming in, I think there will be what do you call it? Not as many viewers as the Flash. I think initially they would, but I think by the end of the season, Flash will still probably reign supreme. But that's just me.
Just think of them sort of sacrificing this small season to give us a full season in the fall. I mean, this is kind of like the appetizer before we come back to the full thing.
Yeah, and it's important to remember, like, if you watch like at least a good majority of the shows, as soon as these shows end, you have Stargirl starting, and then like Supergirl starting, and Legends starting, and all that, and they'll go until probably August.
We're not going to have much time without shows, guys.
You could argue some of them, like Supergirl, for example, could go till September. Like you could go for ages, but then it's its last season, so you're not expecting one to come out soon after. But it's going to be like a lot of shows to watch, so it's not going to be like last year where what if they ended in May, we're going to go like 9 months without the Flash, for example. So yeah. Ryan with the £2 segment of that. Ryan, what do you actually think happened to Kate Kane? Well, saying that the episode one's called Whatever Happened to Kate Kane, I'm assuming they'll find out in episode 1 of season 2 of Batwoman. I'm just guessing it's a disappearance mystery.
It's gonna be messy. No matter what.
I think it's gonna be weird, and it's gonna be like one of those but I don't think I think they'll make it work. I don't think they would have chosen something that just didn't make any sense. I think they'll make it work in some way, shape, or form. You can nitpick and go, well, hold on. Then how does this happen or that happen? This happen? Explain this. But I think for the most part, it'll probably make sense. But I think it's just going to be like some disappearance thing. Like there's no body. Like they'll probably just
What's weird is we were also dealing with the Bruce Wayne disappearance thing as well. So now we have 2 members of that family that have just
it's like a family curse or something like that.
Yeah,
that gets taken off. A bit odd. But thank you very much for that, Ryan. Dankeschön. Just making sure there's anything here to have a chat about. Nothing. So we'll go into this thing. So the next thing is nothing that's overly surprising, but at the same time, a bit annoying. But at the same time, you can sort of look on the bright side and go, well, hold on, maybe this is why they introduced this thing to happen this season. So once again, yesterday was a big news, big slap in the face in regards to news. But we heard that the crossover was actually cancelled for this season between Batwoman and Superman and Lois. Eric, were you surprised?
No.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was overly surprised that there was not a crossover between them. And I think even a lot of people at the time when the Diggle thing was announced was thinking, okay, well, maybe is this why he's brought in? So it is like this sort of like crossover-esque thing. Overall, I'm not surprised it was cancelled all just, first off, but I'm not really that disappointed either because I don't know what the dynamic would have been because I think this was set up before Ruby Rose left. Like this was plans like, okay, it's going to be Ruby Rose is Batwoman. There's like sort of already like
it was so funny. I went back and read the timeline of how it all happened, and it was like Ruby, or they announced the crossover, and then a week later, Ruby announced that she was not coming back. So it was like this weird, very tiny window where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it," and then Ruby left, and it's like that's why I think it sort of went silent after that. So it makes me wonder how many people actually knew she was walking away from this because they made that announcement. And then she went public with walking away, which I think is weird. But
yeah, like I'm sure they knew for I don't know how long they knew because the whole thing's weird. Like Ruby says that like, oh, I decided during COVID and like all the quarantine thing. I'm like, oh well, okay. Does that mean that they still were planning to use you in this crossover, or is it like when they didn't know who exactly they were going to use?
But keep in mind, like looking back at that, we were barely into a quarantine at that point. Like she said, she decided over COVID. I mean,
about a month.
Yeah, it was like a month when things were really rough. So it wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
So that's why looking back, it seems odd that she decided that over the quarantine. I mean, we've been in and out of quarantines for almost a year now. So it's really weird.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. But just quickly before, because I'll lose this if I don't bring it up now. But thank you, Gintoki. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. As you know, I can't pronounce for, well, crap, let's be honest. I'm terrible. With the $2, thank you much for that. Do you think Supergirl has a chance to get renewed? Well, no. So, like, I think the network and the majority of the cast would have been sweet to go on to season 7, which would have been the next one if it got another season. But it's obvious that Melissa Benoist wanted to step away. And it's not, I don't think you can really condemn her. I've seen people going, oh my God, she's the reason. Well, she is the reason. It's not continuing. However, she's got a lot going on in her personal life. The fact that like she's even doing this season is pretty insane. She just get like main character of a show. She's on screen like 80% of the time, if not more. And she just had a baby. Like, you know what I mean? And she has to like,
and under the filming restrictions we have, I mean, it's going to be rough. Like,
so I think she's going to go hard out this season, finish it off, have a good last season. I think they got 20 episodes, so they got the most out of any show. And then just have a good break, raise her kid, everything like that. I'd be surprised if she gets cast in anything intensive for a while. Like she might do a movie or something, but that's like a month and a half filming when might not be the main. So it's supporting role and then just do a couple of, not have to work extremely hard. But it definitely has no chance of getting renewed, like zero. Like the thing you're probably going to see is that maybe like a you'll see Supergirl in like a movie or something like that.
You have to remember, and also the renewal, when something has a chance of getting renewed, it's usually when they unexpectedly get, shut down or whatever. This is like a creative decision. This isn't like this wasn't like the network didn't want the show. So yeah.
We'll go through quickly before we stem into the second part of the crossover thing. We'll go through these super chats. Scarlet Lightning with the $5 and a member of the channel, which means bonus points. Do you see any chance of former Arrow or Supergirl characters finding homes on any of the other shows? The only show really which could take them in would be Legends, and I don't see many characters from either of those shows fitting on Legends. I've seen people saying Dreamer. I'm like, I don't think Dreamer fits on Legends at all.
She would have to have a reason to go. And so without a crossover to set that up, I don't know how that would happen.
Yeah, like Martian Manhunter on Legends, I don't think fits either. I think that's the only show, unless they create a completely new show called the Demons of Eastwick or whatever it's called, whatever you want to call them. And that's the show, and then they just choose whatever. Then you could make that point, but I'd say no. The only other thing is if they made like a Legion of Superheroes show, which I highly, 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 highly doubt they'd ever do because expensive.
Well, but the truth is, like Brainy and Nia and those characters make more sense in the future. Like I think when the show ends, in order for them not to be involved in anything related to the Arrowverse, I think it's possible that Brainy may go back to the future and Nia may go with him. So
yeah, like I'd say zero chance of really. Well, with Arrow, it would have been Green Arrow and the Canaries,
right?
But obviously, yikes. So I'd say probably no to this question, but you never know. Yeah. And they could move them. I just don't think that would fit. So I'm treating this question like, do you think any of these characters would fit on another show? And I'd say probably no. Once again, silhouetted animated with the $2. Thank you very much for that. Earth Prime is Earth 0, right? Not Earth 1. Yeah, well, yeah, Earth 1 is Earth 1, and Earth Prime is just, you can treat it as Earth 0. It's like you have Earth Prime, Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, blah, blah, blah. So it's like the base Earth, if you want to call it. Like Earth Prime is usually treated as the Earth that we're on. So I think that's why they did the Arrowverse, because the Arrowverse is sort of set almost in like a real world thing, if you want to call it. So the Earth Prime is usually like what us people are on, if you want to call it, like normal people, and then they go to other. Remember Earth,
Superboy Prime? That's why we're
he will punch you to interesting places. That's the best way to put it. But obviously, with that crossover thing, that was going to stem into what they probably were going to use as like the new crossover, and will use as the new crossover, is the Green Lantern stuff with John Diggle. So. This came out like December, I think. Yeah. Might have been end of November. It was like early December, late November, something around that period. And it is interesting now that this news has come out and they've actually confirmed it. Even at the time, there was like suspicions, okay, are they doing this because that crossover is not happening and no one's mentioned it for months? But we will have to wait and see how it goes. We know that I don't know if he's actually started filming, because he's been there for like, he might just be on that 2-week period now where he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very curious to see like when he starts doing stuff. Obviously, I'm talking about David Ramsey, aka John Diggle, aka potential Green Lantern, and stuff like that. So Gary Gamon sent you a question, a $1. I didn't. It's not there, so I didn't get it. Yeah, you can't put questions on $1 things either. So yeah. Anyway, so what are your expectations going into the whole John Diggle thing? Like, are you expecting it to be like a fill-in crossover? Because I don't know if and I think I brought this up before with me personally and stuff like that on my streams and videos. You can't do a streamlined story with him through these episodes because
people can't follow him through each episode.
Yeah, because people either don't watch each show or they watch them at later points. Like someone might binge watch Legends at the end,
and they're going to film. They're going to air different times too, because some of these shows aren't going to be back at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think the common factor in all of these is the Diggle character. So I think what we'll be dealing with is, well, in Legends, we might be dealing with something completely disconnected from the other shows, because we know in Legends, he's playing someone else completely, I think. So he's going to be a different. Is that being confirmed, right? That he's playing someone different
on Legends? He's playing a mystery character or something like that. And I think people assumed that was going to be the Green Lantern thing, but that's not like it's a different character. Like John Diggle is the Green Lantern. So
so I think on the other shows he'll just be Diggle. And there might be Green Lantern elements. I mean, I don't know if we'll see him like suit up or anything like that. If we did, I believe we'd see it on something like, possibly Supergirl or Superman and Lois or something like that. I don't think we would see it on the Flash. I don't really know how that would tie into the Flash. And as far as Legends goes, their budget is so crazy anyway. I don't know if they'd have the money to do something like that. But I think this is taking place at the crossovers because it brings back a fan favorite character. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they don't like Diggle. I think most people either are okay with Diggle or he's one of their favorite characters from Arrow. So they pretty much love this character. So having him come back, I think, is their sense of trying to create this continuity with a crossover on the shows without actually committing to a crossover, if that makes sense. So I'm excited about it. So
I think it's just going to be look. One of the things I was thinking is because you can't do a streamlined story. Like it's just not a thing. And just quickly, Layla, I prefer if you didn't spam. Like that's just a heads up. Not going to like ban you or anything. Just a request. But like because you can't do the streamlined story, I wonder if it's setting up something. Like I do wonder if they have like a plan for next season's crossover where Diggle is sort of setting that up. If that makes sense. Because I don't know how you make him appear on 4 episodes and give him 4 different things to do that makes sense, and then have him like the Legends one's fine because they can just do whatever they want with him. They can just do whatever they want with him.
We still have 3 other episodes that he's going to be involved in. 4 more episods. Yeah, that's true.
So how do you do? Well, it's 5 including Legends. 4 and then Legends. But 4 as John Diggle. So as I said, you can't do a streamlined thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how they use them on each different like individual episode.
Yeah. Do you think they could be setting up a Green Lantern story for the next crossover? Like something involving the Lanterns, maybe?
I don't think so. I don't think that.
It always takes me back to the HBO Max thing. That's what I always think about. Like we're doing an HBO Max Green Lantern thing. So why would they do it on the Arrowverse shows? That's kind of what I always go back to.
I just warned someone about spoiling and then spamming, and then someone came and started spamming. So I had to put them in time. It's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that one of the episodes is fairly early. However, based off the fact that he's just come in now, that's highly unlikely. So it looks like it's going to be a back half of the season thing for at least most of the shows. Like, Supergirl could be that weird one. And the big reason I say that is because Melissa Benoist didn't show up, so she it's not like she just refused, but she obviously was recovering from the pregnancy, so she has to do all of her stuff for the earlier episodes and like catch up. So it's like going to school and you're a term behind and you got to catch up on all the work. So you're doing the work that's currently being done, then you got to catch up on all that other work. So maybe Diggle could be in those things with her.
Yeah,
for one episode. That would be interesting if they wanted to do that. So it'd be interesting to see if they went down that road with it. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully there's some sort of Green Lantern thing where he goes Green Lantern. I think they would. I don't see them teasing the fans like that at all. I'm not saying it's going to be in every episode.
Right.
But hopefully
I'm wondering with him, though, if we're going to get more of like if he does the Green Lantern thing, if we're going to get more of like an Earthbound Green Lantern where he can create weapons out of the rings, like guns or swords or things like that. Like I don't know if we're going to get like full on space Green Lantern with Diggle's character.
Yeah, I think you're probably leaning more to like an Alan Scott-esque Green Lantern, where it was like just shooting energy out of the ring and minor constructs. Nothing too extreme. So it'll be interesting. But if there's anything, you could probably say like Superman and Lois would be the show where he does something just because they have the bigger budget.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have asked if we get the question all the time, what do we think he's going to be doing? Is he going to be like teaming up with people and trying to collect people to do a big fight or something like that? If he's the only one moving through these shows, I don't think he's going to be collecting anybody or doing any kind of like weird like recruitment or anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. So.
No. It's not going to be anything like that. Just because it would make no sense. He already knows everyone outside of the new Batwoman.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see why he goes there, because he hasn't, unless he goes there looking for Kate.
Yeah.
That's the That could be a thing. But still awaited anime with another $5. Thank you very much for that. Speaking of Ryan Choi, why am I looking over there? Who was mentioned in chat. I did not see it. Anyway, it's funny how Manovu, aka the Monitor, never thought of shrinking Anti-Monitor into the microverse to begin with. Fair enough. I don't really have a response to that for the most part. It's just an observation, I guess.
Yeah.
You could argue, like, why don't you like make him like really big and then chuck him into space where he couldn't breathe? Like, make it so his head goes into like breaks the atmosphere and then goes into space and he can't breathe oxygen.
There was a lot of things they could have done. Yeah. I mean,
there's a lot of different roads they could have gone down. But yeah, speaking of Ryan Choi, I never know when he's going to come back into this universe, but you never know. Maybe cameo. And everyone's like, oh, there's Ryan Choi. Probably not this season because of COVID. But
I was actually excited about having him in the Arrowverse, and they didn't really do anything with him. So
yeah, I think he was like, I don't think he was a last minute addition, but I think I'm 99.7% sure that Guggenheim said they wanted to use someone else, and then they ended up using Ryan Choi. So Ryan Choi wasn't their first choice,
right?
But they knew that they could work him in.
He's a really smart character that could do.
I'm sure if you go through Guggenheim's Twitter or Instagram or something like that, you can see the original board that they had, and it had you'd be able to see, like, it has either like just their picture from the show that they were on or the comic version of that character. I can see, like, there was even like some of the Arrowverse people. I don't know if Sarah Lance was on there. And I don't know if someone else wasn't on there. So, like, I think the people that were always on there were Flash, Brandon Routh, Superman, Supergirl, maybe Batwoman wasn't on there. Batwoman might not.
I mean, are you saying that they didn't have all of this planned out way ahead of time?
Well, I think that they had stuff planned, and then they were told, no, you can't do that. So they had to make. No, they don't. Like, they still had months to prepare, but they didn't get their first choices. That's the best way to put it. And then Naruto 0076, thank you very much for that with $2. Pagey, without spoilers, thoughts on WandaVision? Well, I liked it, but I still have zero idea what's going on. Yeah. I have no clue what's going on. And from what I've heard, the third episode sort of explains that towards the end and gives you a bit of a suggestion or hint as to what's going on for the most part.
I think it looks good, though. I enjoy the way it looks.
I enjoy, like, I think that, like, it's definitely if you just got, there's a new Marvel show, go watch it. It's called WandaVision. Okay, you'd be like, what the hell am I watching? If you hadn't seen any of the trailers, I was lucky. Like, I don't know if I watched at least one trailer going into it, so I had a good feel of what was going on with the show. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be like the most favorite thing I watch in regards to what they're putting out with Disney Plus. I think Loki's the show I'm looking forward to the most.
That one looks crazy, crazy good.
Or Moon Knight. Moon Knight is like, they haven't even done anything with it. I think they start filming soon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
March. March is when they film Moon Knight, I believe.
Yeah, it's something like that. I'm sure they try to get as close away from like the COVID stuff so they potentially don't get hit by it.
They're trying to film in places where they don't have huge outbreaks right now. So
I think Budapest is a place that they usually film. Like, I think Black Widow filmed in Budapest. I think they film a couple of
out in the middle of nowhere where it's,
I think it's just the architecture, and that's why they go there. And I think it's also probably cheap. There's probably maybe like tax write-offs or something if they film there. Not too sure, but yeah, don't really have too much thoughts on it just because
it's hard to do without spoilers, honestly.
Yeah, like everything that's sort of worth talking about is a spoiler. But if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. And obviously, if you watch it, you can become a member of the channel and watch my review because it's an exclusive member review. Thank you for Naruto for the super chat and also the ability to advertise.
Was that a planted question? I think
I can confirm that I am not Naruto. That is not an alt account, so I can confirm that. I'll just go through some normal questions before. Is there an interesting normal question in the chat? Let's go here. This is one thing that people have been asking or curious about. Elongated Man is returning, but there will be a new character. So, Ralph is returning, but it's going to be for like one scene by the sounds of it, and it's just to allow them to write him off the show, and it's going to be played by an existing character on the show. Well, that's what they said. It's going to be played by a familiar face.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. I'm guessing it's Tom Cavanagh, because if there's anyone that will probably be able to do some sort of funny thing, it'd be Tom Cavanagh. That's what I think they're going to do. So I think that's probably what they're going to do there. But don't expect like random actor, whoever it might be, to, he's been recast as Ralph Dibny, because I think they just want to move on from that I don't think they want to dwell on that. It's
It
just
really
like,
sucks though. I love that character. He kind of grew on me after so
yeah.
long.
But I think it's sort of similar, if you argue, to like the Cyborg thing, with it, like they won't recast because they just sort of want to move on and at least let it breathe for a while. Yeah, just sort of like just clear the table and then say, okay, well, maybe in a couple of years we'll have that meal again. So yeah, I wouldn't expect too much in regards to that. Scarlet Lightning 86, once again with the $5. Do you think Ryan Choi will end up being an abandoned character?
Yeah.
I'd say yes. However, if the Flash does get to like season 9, it wouldn't surprise me too much if they tried to have him in there for a bit. Not saying bring him in, he's a new main character or new team member, but obviously we did have that thing where like Ryan Choi is connected to the Flash in the future because he makes the suit and everything like that.
Right.
So they have that connection there in some way, shape, or form. But I wouldn't put money on it that Ryan Choi is coming back, because it's important to remember, like, the people that made the crossover, like Guggenheim and stuff like that. Guggenheim was at that time, that with a show that's still on, the only show he was affiliated with was Legends. So the only show that maybe he thought Ryan Choi could maybe come on was Legends, because it's not like he's in control of the Flash or anything like that. Guggenheim has nothing to do with the Flash or Supergirl or Batwoman or anything like that. So Legends was probably the most likely thing, even though I don't know if he would have 100% fit on there. I think the show he probably fits on the most is the Flash.
Yeah.
But I'd be very, very surprised if he came on as like a big thing, but he could come on like as like an arc, maybe like a 3-episode arc, where maybe at that point, maybe he is the Atom. Maybe he is the Atom. Maybe he's figured out that technology. Maybe off screen, him and Ray Palmer have conversed, and maybe he can use those powers now. So maybe keep your eyes out for that.
Basically, gives him the blessing of being the Atom. Maybe you go do it. So
that'd be fairly interesting. So maybe write into the CW, Ryan Choi, question mark. Just that's the only email you need to send. That's all you have to write. So maybe send that in. Gintoku Cruz won once again with the $2. I just see him making bows and shooting green arrows.
Oh, he's talking about Diggle, I think.
Oh, okay. I think okay. All good. I was wondering, was like, is that me?
I mean, that would be cool if he did that. I mean, I would be down with that. I mean, I don't know if that'd be the most interesting thing, but
hold on. Okay. Final appearance is in. Let's just say it's Superman and Lois, and there's a threat that maybe he's been tracking through, and they can recap through the episode, so it sort of makes sense for general viewers. We get to Superman and Lois. Superman is helping him take down this threat, and Deagle gets the final blow. He gets the final blow, and he makes a green bow and arrow through his construct with his ring. It goes, "You have failed this city," and then flings the arrow into the person's eyeball, and their head explodes. Thoughts? Would you say hashtag epic moment?
Yeah, that would be epic moment. That would be epic moment and epic meme material there for sure.
Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, yeah, epic. I'd say, yeah, actually, I agree with both of those things.
Because think about how many times we've memed Barry like piecing out over the gravestone or whatever. Like this, it's just epic memes there. I will say this though, I wonder if they do like him creating constructs because of money, if it'll show like a special effect of him making it, and then they'll just use a practical item, like a green bow or a green gun or a green staff or something like that. Like
they could do something like they do on Stargirl with the cosmic staff. They could do something like that. But then again, I don't think it's like overly hard to make something glow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the issue is like, once again, it's an issue with not just the Arrowverse stuff, but pretty much anything on TV and even movies, if it's in the daytime.
Right.
If it's in the daytime, it could look really funky, especially if it's a really bright green, which it probably would be, at least some sort of bright green, because it's a light. So that could be the issue. But we'll have to wait and see what they do. But that would be a pretty epic moment, I think, if he the old green bow and arrow.
You have failed the city. Yeah, absolutely.
Shanak with the $2. Thank you much for that, Shanak. How could Swamp Thing factor into Legends season 7? Are they on 6 now? Are they on 7? They're on 6. I'm not sure if you mean 6 or maybe 7 next year. I think if Swamp Thing comes onto Legends, it's because that's also, he said there's a small chance that he could have come back to the Arrowverse, and there's a possibility it's Legends. That's what the president said. So he's not saying, oh yeah, he's coming back 100%. He's saying, oh yeah, maybe he could come back. We haven't closed the door on it completely.
It's such a difficult character to work on another show, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is that they could easily make it that the actor comes in and they literally do something in like the water, and he only has to wear like the top half of the suit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They could bring Derek Mears back because he was on Flash. He played the guy that could shrink things. Remember, he shrinks Joe and
yeah,
or Ralph. One of the.
I just think it's weird because the Swamp Thing character, even when you do like comic book crosses or whatever, he's basically tied to the swamp. Like he's a character that can't really like you wouldn't take him everywhere to battle because
he's not going to go into Metropolis and go, "What's doing?"
Yeah,
I'm here.
It's weird. I like the idea of continuing Swamp Thing. I think if he continues on Legends, though, it might be one of those things where he's in like a handful of episodes. Like I don't think he would be there full
they have
time.
his head in a jar. There's the possibility. So, theory is either they visit the swamp for a couple of episodes or head in a jar with some water. One of the two.
Why not?
They're the two options. But thank you very much for that, Shanak. Silhouetted animator again with the $5 will never happen. But imagine if David Haller from Legion popped up in WandaVision. Is he the main character, like Professor X's son?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess with the MCU, anything is possible. I think you're going to see some multiverse stuff in WandaVision, to be completely honest. I don't know specifically what it's going to be, but I think you're going to see some multiverse stuff. I think that's hard, but then again, they acquired Fox, so they could use that character if they wanted to.
The only problem is I think they want to make the mutants being introduced into the MCU something
fresh.
Yeah, I think using that character might not be their. They don't want to make that their first introduction, probably.
Yeah, like I don't see many like existing characters carrying over outside of like Deadpool. And they, for some reason, Hugh Jackman wanted to come back as Wolverine, even though I don't think they would do that. I think they'd cast their own.
Yeah.
But you never know. Anything's possible when you open up the multiverse. You can do anything you want to. Frost and Chillblaine going to date. That's coming from Emily Jackson. I don't know about that. I think there might be something like sort of, oh, I moved it away. Life. Oh, there we go. It's back up. I'm an idiot. I pressed the space bar and for some reason it took it away. I'd been told that Chillblaine was in this season like ages ago, and I think I might have even told Eric back then. But I got told that Sue was attached to his story, like attached to his introduction. I don't know if that's still the case. Maybe Sue Dibney is attached to his introduction, but I don't know whether they scrapped Sue and then put Killer Frost in there because maybe they didn't know what to do with Sue going forward in the season. Because from what I know, she hasn't been in Vancouver, the actress who plays Sue. Like she was there for...
And they were saying that she was going to be a part of the season, but she hasn't been on set filming as far as I know.
I think she was there at the beginning. She was there at the beginning, and then that was it. And then I think she like went back to LA or wherever she's from and like wherever she lives. So I'm not too sure if they change that around. Maybe she still is attached to the introduction of the character, and then Frost gets brought in, and there. I don't know if they're going to date. Maybe it's a bit of a, excuse the pun, bit of a frosty relationship. Yeah, feel free to dislike if you want after that one. But I wouldn't expect anything like that. But it's going to be interesting. I think Chillblaine's probably attached to what's going on with Frost this season in regards to being captured and everything like that. Naruto 0076, thank you for becoming a new member to the channel. Obviously, enjoy your access to certain things on said channel. What is the status of the Wonder Twins on CW? I think they just put that in for an Easter egg at the end of Crisis, like the little monkey thing or whatever it is. I don't expect Wonder Twins just because I think it's a bit, let's be honest, it's a bit lame. Like it's very like 50s and 60s. Like it's very dated.
The only show they would even fit on if you wanted to use them would be something like Legends. I don't
know if anyone ever watched Smallville. Remember when the Wonder Twins were on Smallville?
Oof. Yeah, I remember.
That was odd. That was odd. Anyway, I'm just going through the chat here.
Form into bucket of water.
Form into a lamp. What are you doing? I'm just lighting up the joint. Oh, okay, thanks for that. Did I get everything? I think I actually, so there's one here. Ooh, why is my mouse moving so fast? Here we go. Shawnak with the $2. Thank you very much for that. How will Flash Season 7 balance Cisco and Chester? Good question. I don't really have an answer. I really do not know. I wouldn't be too surprised if maybe Cisco, because there's sort of a suggestion of it through set photos, but I am curious whether Cisco is able to go back out on the field.
Yeah.
I think they might do that where Cisco is able to go back on the field, whether he has powers or he just has sort of a contraption that allows him to do things. It would surprise me too much if that's what they go down, like that's the road they go down in regards to all of that. It'll be interesting.
Honest, he could invent weapons for himself. Like that's the thing. He's got the ability to do that. So
yeah. Like it's not like out of the possibility that Cisco would be able to do something along those lines. So It'll be interesting. I think everyone was a bit surprised when they said that Chester was being upgraded because it's like all about Cisco, but I'm sure they found a way to make it work. I don't think I have them sitting next to each other in every single scene saying the
He'll be
exact
on
same.
Team Citizen. Yay.
What Chester's there now? I don't know. I was going to go to work with his girlfriend. I'm not too sure. Playboy coming in. Pagey, what happened to Black Lightning? They haven't said a thing about it. Well, it's ending. I'm not too sure you mean like exactly about it. Do you mean like episodes and things? It's important to remember that Black Lightning films in Atlanta. I think they're getting through the episodes pretty sweet. I think like Stargirl films there as well. And from everything I've seen, like they haven't been affected by anything.
As far as I know, they're still. I haven't seen it because I keep up with them on Instagram and stuff. I haven't seen anything from any of the actors about anything being affected.
Yeah, like they seem to be going through it, and along with Stargirl, like fairly well with no hiccups or anything like that. So, yeah, I think I've always said no news is good news for a lot of things, especially when they're filming. Like something that's actually in current production, if you don't hear anything about it, that's a good thing. As soon as you start hearing stuff about it, like through like, oh, this happened, that's probably not good. It's just like no news is bad news when it's something that's meant to be in production, like hello, Green and the Canaries, hashtag Batwoman, Superman crossover and stuff like that. So yeah. Luke Gogan asked, Paige, are you ever going to have merch? I have ideas for merch. I just need like to find like a good artist that could put it all together. Because trust me, it would be very memey. I'm sure you can already predict what some of them would be. I can say two off the top of my head. Apartment 4. Oh, I don't know if I'd do Daddy Likes the Metal because that could be.
Or Give Me My Money. Maybe that would be one of them.
I would never do that because that's just. I don't know why anyone would buy that. I don't know why anyone would buy that. When does Flash starts? February 23rd. Third, yeah. I always get people in my. I think it was my last stream or the stream before tried to make me believe it was February 27th. I don't know why. I think it was like two people were trying to make it seem like it was February 27th. Anyway, someone asked this, which I'm very curious because we might have a quick discussion. Same on the Green Lantern topic before we move on to what will probably be our final topic before like final questions and stuff. LB3 Custom said, "Will you review the HBO Max Green Lantern show?" Hell yeah, I can't wait. It's probably my most anticipated show that's like new coming. It's just that I think they're meant to start filming in the summer, so like probably like June of this year. I think the issue is they're waiting for like sort of COVID stuff to go down as well. But from everything I've heard about this show, they seem to be using like the Mandalorian technology that they use to film their show. Like with that big screen around, they can pretty much make anything.
Like a giant dome. It's almost like an IMAX dome.
The Mandalorian isn't going to these deserts and stuff to film. They're filming on this big IMAX like dome screen and then adding things on the floor to make it seem like that, and then using obviously like computers to make it all blend together.
Actually helps them with the whole filming process with COVID because they don't have to go anywhere. It's just all inside one space. Yeah,
so like I'm looking. They're using that, or like they apparently. I don't know if it's exactly that or it's similar. I assume they're probably going to use the exact same technology. But I can't wait for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm interested to see who they cast for the show and everything like that. But it's definitely up there. So yeah, the irony is around the show is that pretty much everyone that was outside of the director of the movie back then, everyone that's involved with the show was involved with the Green Lantern movie from 2011 in some way, shape, or form, whether it was one version or the other. So
Ryan Reynolds cameo, get ready for it.
I'd love if they actually cast Ryan Reynolds in, like, as a theory, suggestion. What if they cast Ryan Reynolds as the voice of Chip, the little chipmunk squirrel Green Lantern?
That would be great. It'd be a nice little tie back.
By a car, by the way, but anyway, it was a truck or something like that. So let's not say that happened.
Yeah,
but imagine that Green Lantern dies getting hit by a car. Anyway, wait, does he? Or is that like an Elseworlds thing? I'm not too sure. Anyway, whatever. That'd be hilarious. But I'm looking forward to Green Lantern as a show in general. That was a bit of a tangent. Naruto became a member again. I'm not too sure if you just that was a change in level. Not
yeah,
sure.
I think that's what it was, probably.
Because I'm on StreamYard, so it doesn't tell me the exact thing that you became a member of. So feel free to let me know, because I'm not too sure. It doesn't tell me here. Gamer Man X9000 with the $5. Thank you very much for that. I think one of the problems with Arrow is that they cover so much ground in the first two seasons that they ran out of good plot line in the later seasons. Not really. I think it's just more that it was just a really well-paced show. I think that they set such a, well, not a well-paced show. I think they just set a a well done show that they set such a bar that it took them a while to. And we can give season 3 crap for how it ends, because it ends just like a shipper's like fan fiction, which then spreads into season 4. But the first half of season 3 is still, I think, roughly the same quality of season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You go back and watch it, outside some of the Olicity stuff that they try to set up, but most of it is still very good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hit back with season 5, which once again, it was sort of like the opposite of season 3, where the first half was a bit rockety and the back half of season 5 was just amazing. Like, probably compares with season 2 in regards to the best back half. Season 6 was like a non-entity to me. It's like just average, because it had good things and then just it was really anticlimactic. I can't remember what happens in season 6. I can't remember what happens in season 6 outside the first episode. And there's a Deathstroke stuff, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of some of the stuff in season 6, but yeah, season 5 was what I thought was a really great season. I had a lot of fun with season 5.
I saw issues with the first half because I think like that new Team Arrow thing didn't really work for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think the back half is like top tier. I don't think you can really, as I said, compete for season 2 for the best back half. But I don't think that's really the issue, Gary, man. I think it's just more that they set such a high bar in regards to quality that then they tried to beat that. And sometimes when you try to, if you try too
very
hard,
early on, they set up the quality very early on.
When you try too hard, that's when you are most likely to fail, or you're gonna like pull a hamstring or something. You gotta keep going. So, and then I think they figured out what made Arrow, and that's what season 5 ended up being. So yeah, they figured out their mistake, but then once again they set a high bar with season 5, and season 6 and 7 weren't really able to compete, even though season 7 started off amazing as well. So, and then sort of stuffed up at the end. Don't need to mention freaking Beatrice. Anyway, Scarlet Lightning 86 once again with the $2. You plan to cover Loki whenever it comes out? It'd probably be a members video. I don't know. It might go up on the main channel. I'm not too sure. But Loki's the one I'm looking forward to the most. That's like that we've seen stuff of. I'm looking forward to Miss Marvel, but I don't know what the show, if it's going to be exactly like the comics or not. They didn't really show much in that sizzle reel, so you just saw her not even in like as Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
even to her powers.
I heard some rumors that people are saying it's going to have a Stargirl vibe, like that kind of vibe or whatever.
Yeah, like a very grounded but still
like high school superhero thing or whatever.
So yeah, but Loki's the one I'm looking forward to the most because it just looks freaky in the best way possible. Just making sure I've got this thing here. Okay, there we go. St. Lugia with the $2 just came. What's the Green Lantern news? Well, the Green Lantern news we're talking about was the spin-off stuff from the crossover where Diggle's sort of like the crossover for this season now because they've cancelled the big, well, the not really big, but the fill-in crossover for this season, which was Batwoman and Superman and Lois. So that was like the Green Lantern stuff. You should be able to like hopefully trace back maybe through the live stream if you want to hear us talk about it. But we're just sort of like talking about like what they could do with the Diggle story, which is now going to be like the fill-in. Tim Scott, thank you very much for becoming a member to the channel. Greatly appreciated. You can now go watch the One Division review if you want to go check it out. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for that. Just looking through the chat here. Miss Marvel will be out by, I'm guessing that's meant to be this year. Is it? I guess it is. I guess it'd be this year, wouldn't it be? They'd have a lot. Because Falcon Winter Soldier's March, like that's competing with Snyder Cut.
The fall of 2021 at the earliest is what they said for Miss Marvel. So somewhere September, October, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting, like, because Loki's going to come out before it, so I probably have to come out after Loki, but I'm looking forward to it.
So we're going to get Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, and then probably Miss Marvel. I think that's the order we're going. That's
what it seems like. Anyway, last thing to talk about. Actually, before we jump to this final thing, I'll give this like mini. Did I put it in? I think I put it in the title of this video, which is a mini flash scoop. Now, I told Eric this before, and look, don't like 100% take this with a grain of salt. Take this with a that big, like a big
quantum realm grain of salt.
Like if you ate it, you die because it's just way too much sodium. So like biggest grain of salt. Don't even potentially taste it or put it in your mouth at all. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at it. However, I was told by someone that's told me really reliable stuff in the past. This is someone that also told me, I had two people tell me the thing before, but one person who told me about something epic, or there was a big Flash thing happening on set, and this was actually the Ezra Miller thing. They didn't tell me it was the Ezra Miller thing back, well, now it's 2 years ago, end of 2019 in December, but they were one of the people that said it. Once again, take it as a grain of salt. I don't want to be said like the person that confirmed this or anything like that, but I got told that Grant Gustin is filming something in between the seasons of The Flash, which is surprising because COVID's still going to be a thing. And you think the studio would be like, no, don't do that. We want you to be safe for the upcoming season. So take that with whatever you want. And they wouldn't tell me what it was, but they suggested that maybe because he's probably going to be filming stuff for the Flash movie anyway, that maybe it's an extended filming period and he might be replacing someone. So
maybe he's going to replace Ezra and be the Flash in the movie.
Well, there you go. Maybe there's the scoop, even though that's not what I was alluding to. There you go. There's the scoop. Eric's confirmed it. Grant Gustin will be replacing Ezra Miller on the Flash movie. There you go.
Go ahead. We got this covered.
That's Eric that said that.
Yeah.
That was Eric. Oh, that's not what I have to click on. I have to click on this. I missed this. Dan, aka the Man Campbell, with the $20. Thank you very much for that, Dan. Greatly appreciated. Great support of the channel. Hopefully you're having a good day. You would think with all that time in the Speed Force, Barry would have been able to outrun COVID. You would think so. You'd think he'd be able to put himself in just a frame of time or an area in space and time, or just the universe in general, or it doesn't exist, or just put himself in a protective bubble. Bubble Boy. What's that, the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
Just called Bubble Boy. I know he's a boy in the bubble, but I'm just trying to remember whether it's Bubble Boy or not. Do I have a neck? No, my head's just connected to my shoulder. My collarbone. It just sinks. I'm like a turtle. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so not much to add to that in regards to that, Dan. That's a really good observation.
No, it is good. So I think you just
observation.
Yeah, I think that was like, hey, I want to contribute, but I have this funny thing to say. So that's good. Yeah.
Bubble Boy was John Travolta. Was it?
I don't know. It was more of a meme to me. I don't really care about the movie or anything like that.
Yeah, I just said there's a movie where Jake Gyllenhaal's Boy in a Bubble. Maybe it's called Boy in a Bubble. I don't know. Or Bubble World. Not too sure. The final thing to talk about. So if you do want to bring any final questions, feel free to do that. What was the thing I was going to put on? This is me being stupid because I can't. Okay, don't worry. It's all good. So the final thing to talk about is this will be the final stream before a certain show comes out, most likely. It is Bubble Boy. I knew I was right. Don't try and say it's John Travolta because it's not. It's Jake Gyllenhaal. Anyway, the final thing, because this will probably be my final stream before the show comes out, and that's Batwoman. So Batwoman, hashtag expectations. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the show is going to be received heading into season 2, just by like general audience? So I'm just saying like the mob culture.
Okay. I'm gonna say, like, you're looking for a number, 1 to 10.
Yeah, just anywhere.
I would say probably somewhere between a 6 and a 7.
I was thinking like anywhere from like a 7-ish, like the medium.
Yeah.
I was saying like
low end 6, like most people probably 7. I would say. Yeah,
like I'm really curious to see how it's received, because it seems that Ryan Wilder is going to be very different to Kate Kane. I think they'll share some mutual traits and just some similarities in general. But I think for the most part, they're going to be very different characters. And I do wonder if that's, and I'm not saying like, people that didn't like what Ruby Rose's acting was like. I just mean in regards to who they are as people. So I am very curious to see how that's received and whether it's jarring for people.
Yeah.
Also people that maybe didn't even know the drama. So they just show them, what the hell is this?
You have to remember, guys, there's probably people that don't even know that Ruby Rose is no longer on the show. They're going to come back and be like, what happened? So
like they might not understand the promos, because they could just go on like, even it could be like someone on someone that gets it on Netflix or something weekly or something like that. And they might still have, like, I know on the Australian thing, Batwoman's they still got Ruby Rose's picture on the thing and they are gonna, the new episode on there comes out in 2 days.
It's really weird because I always have to remind myself that this online world that we live in, like the people that come to our channels and the discussions we have and stuff, that's not the majority of the people that tune into the shows, because they have a lot of viewers that probably don't even come to YouTube. And so when something happens or some drama happens, we have fun discussing it here, and there are lots of people that get into that. But a lot of the viewing audience, they may not even watch the shows week to week. They may watch it when it's all out at one time or whatever. They don't even keep up with any of that stuff. So that's kind of what I'm basing my number on, is the people that just they're not in the world that gets into all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, just quickly, Naruto, thanks for the $5, obviously, but I agree my pledge, but the One Division, if you go to my channel and then go to the community tab, there should probably be a post there which you'll be able to see, which will have the One Division.
We just talked about this before the stream started.
I've always, the membership thing when they send out videos is terrible because there's no individual thing to go see it. But if you go to my channel and then click on the community tab, you should be able to see it, because it'll be like a members only post, which you'll be able to see and then click on and watch.
And my One Division review will be up tomorrow. So. Yeah.
If you also, I was going to plug it at the end, but I'll plug it now. If you don't know who Eric is, never seen him before, or hated him before but want to follow him now, you can go to the description down below and the link to his channel will be there. So
you can hate watch me. I'm okay with that.
We do a stream there every week. We do a stream will be Wednesdays now, if you're in America and stuff like that. So feel free to go check it out. But thank you very much for firstly the pledge, but also the donation, Naruto. Thank you very much. And quickly, Captain J10 said, is HBO Green Lantern part of the Arrowverse too? I'd say no, but it's part of the DC multiverse. So there's they're
going all in on this interconnected world.
And even Anne Sarnoff was saying the other day at the CES, I think it was, because I think even that's tech, I think she was randomly asked about the DC stuff, and she said like they're really playing into the multiverse. Like she specifically said the Arrowverse and stuff like that.
3 years ago, I said this is what they should have been doing all along. So I'm happy that it's actually happening, because this is what I've wanted from them. So
yeah. So it'll be interesting. But in regards to my Batwoman thoughts, I'm looking forward to it. It's not like I'm still looking forward to like shows like Stargirl, Superman Lois, Flash more.
Mm-hmm.
But it probably comes just after that. I think the big thing I'm looking forward to the big thing around this show is that I'm incredibly intrigued. I'm incredibly intrigued to see how it's handled, just the transition from Kate to Ryan, or the two Batwomen, and everything along those lines. I'm very curious to see how they do it. I'm trying to
temper my expectations. My expectations are really, really high.
I would say go into it. Don't think it's going to be a completely different show, because I don't think it's going to be. I just think it's going to have a bit of spice handled to it, if you want to call it. Right. Just because obviously you're having a different type of Batwoman. And you can just tell through some of the little promo things that they put out that it's almost going to be like the Ryan Wilder's got. It seems a bit more fun, but also seems a bit more snarky as well. While Kate's was just like, I'm Kate, it was trying to be like something like just like female Batman,
female Bruce Wayne. Yeah, that's
like female Batman.
Yeah.
While I think Gervasio or Ryan Wilder is going to be more like a Robin or a Batgirl. If anything, there's going to be expect some memes, expect some banter, various things like that.
I just love there is no formula for this character that we know of, because she's like an invention of the show. So
yeah, but yeah, like Real World Slots does say, it still leaves it open for Kate to return at some time. I think that's why they did it. I don't think, and I wouldn't expect Ruby Rose to come back, but they can always just recast Kate for an episode. Even though I don't know if they'd even do that. I think they probably just didn't want the drama around recasting.
And they could also wait a couple of seasons and go, oh, she was killed. Because then at that point, they've waited long enough.
I think they will say whether she's dead or not by the end of this season. Probably. I think they'll say that, if not earlier than the end of the season. I think maybe like halfway through.
Yeah.
And it'll be like a thing. Because there will be an inconsistency, I think, if they're so dead set on finding Kate, and then like a few episodes in, they just stop. So that's the thing they have to keep consistent.
It'd be kind of stupid. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be like, oh, we're looking for Kate for first 2 episodes really hard. And then by episode 5, let's go, Ryan.
Right.
So it's like, what about you're doing that stuff with Kate? Oh, yeah, I got bored. You know what I mean? Yeah. So hopefully they're consistent with that. But I'll have to wait and see what happens there. I think I got all the super chats and everything like that. I think I did. But we will wrap up this. We've been going for an hour. So I just want to thank everyone for watching. As I said, you can go check out Eric's thingy, in the channel in the description down below if you want to go check it out. It should be down there some way. Just as Eric.
I'm memeing it up.
Don't meme it up because I don't know, maybe meme it up 24/7. It might work. But thank you everyone that tuned in. Thank you to everyone that supported the channel. Thank you to everyone that became a member and everything along those lines. I might have a video out tomorrow. If I don't, I guess it'll be actually I'll probably try and put a video out tomorrow. I don't know. If not, my next video might be my Batwoman season 2 episode 1 review. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you, Eric, for joining me.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just stalling at this point. Let's go. Farewell. Good.